one of the things that I mentioned last class in regards to a mystery God is some people have been indoctrinated into a religion, whether they've been Christians or Muslims or Jehovah's Witnesses or whatever, and they drop that, and now they consider themselves conscious or woke or 5%ers or part of the comedic science community or dealing with other forms of metaphysics or whatever. And their behavior and their approach towards those types of sciences of life is the exact same. They haven't really dropped the religion. They carry this out in a very religious fashion. So they still miss the point, right? So learning anything, there is an equal responsibility to unlearn some things. And that's what a lot of people may not do because it requires a self-analysis. And a lot of people don't want to analyze themselves. They're real good at picking apart and dismantling everybody else. But when it comes down to them just looking in the mirror and assessing the things that they need to work on, it's difficult for some people to do that. But that is a requirement when it comes to learning anything, because sometimes what you're learning, like what we were talking about last week in terms of cognitive dissonance, it may not be consistent with what we've believed or what we've learned for maybe 2 decades. And it may take time to unlearn some of those things. It may take some fasting. It may take some changing up your daily routines. It may take some reassessing the relationships that you have with some people that may be close to you in order to align yourself with that new information. So that unlearning process is as equally as important as the learning process. But some people may not go through that. So what you begin to see is people just superimpose these metaphysical ideas over the bullshit that they've always been doing. Right? And some of the lessons that we're going to cover today really emphasize what is the reason and the purpose for even learning these lessons, period. You know, a lot of the things that we've been learning thus far is how to deal with adversity. Things about the self-diagnostic that is important for us in terms of recognizing just the conflicts that we oftentimes deal with and how to straighten that out. Also, when we went to the 136, we talked about being sympathetic and empathetic to the condition of people, realizing that they've been taught to eat the wrong foods and been made other than themselves since they were babies, and being sensitive to that, you know, recognizing that everybody's not going to be where we think we are in our growth and development. So we've gone through various different landscapes in terms of the worldview of what knowledge of self is. These lessons that we're going to get into now are the core of what a 5%er actually is, how a 5%er is supposed to function. And then you're also going to recognize that you have a lot of things that people bring into this that don't belong here, right?